This is Ben Ingram from the Atlanta Braves Radio Network, and it's time to go riding with the Braves, presented by Chevrolet. Let's see who else is riding with us today. Riding with the Braves alongside Pierce Johnson in the Chevy Trax Active, which has starting price point of $24,995. Pretty slick wheels for our ride today, isn't it?
Yeah, I like it. Super sleek inside, great dashboard. I mean, super comfy.
Yeah, and you're a dad, so you need room.
I do.
You'd like this.
Absolutely, and being in Colorado, being up off the ground when it comes, this is a perfect ride.
How many kids do you have?
Two. My son is 4, and my daughter's 2.
That's got to be fun. So I guess your son is just old enough to kind of understand what Dad does now, huh?
Yeah, my son, he loves playing catch and hitting wiffle balls, and he just being around the game, I think, helps a lot.
Yeah, gosh, you think about getting to the big leagues, and I guess when you're coming up, high school, college, you're thinking about being in the big leagues. You think, man, it would be so great, the life that I'd have, and getting to perform at the highest level. You probably never think about the added joy of being in the big leagues with kids and getting to see that through their eyes. That's got to be awesome.
Yeah, no doubt. I was kind of blessed as a kid because my dad worked in marketing for the Padres. So I grew up going to the field too. I mean, I was never really like in the locker room, the clubhouse, and, on the field like my son's going to be able to do. But I got to grow up around the game, and I think that truly built my love for the game just because I was just around it all the time. So yeah. I'm just happy for my kids. I want to play long enough for them to truly understand like what it takes, how much, I've dedicated to this, how much, my parents and everybody sacrificed for me, and how much, I've sacrificed as well. That hard work, really leads to good things.
That's really cool. So growing up around the game, and you're from Colorado. Did you live somewhere else before Colorado?
So I was born in Colorado, moved to San Diego, and that's where my dad worked for the Padres. So I was there throughout the 90s. Got to see some great players come through there.
Yeah, that was a great time to be around San Diego.
Man, it was unbelievable. And like my agent now represented Tony Gwynn, and so it was funny. That's how we met, and he's got stories upon stories about him. But I had my parents call me Tony Gwynn. That's how much I love Tony. So, but it's cool because I got to play in San Diego too, and I got to meet Tony Gwynn Jr. and become friends with him, and Trevor Hoffman, and all these people that I idolized as a kid. I got to be a part of that organization and part of that city, and it was a blast.
That is so cool. That's really cool. So I guess you knew early on, like I want to be a ball player. I want to be in the big leagues and be a Major League Baseball player.
I did. But what's funny is I tried to quit baseball to play hockey because I just love the sport. It was fast paced. There's action. It's just kind of, I don't know, different sport in so many ways, and I loved it. But my dad said, "Well, you know what? You're not quitting baseball." And
was that when you were in high school?
Right before high school.
Okay.
And my dad said, "Nope, not a chance." And best decision anybody's ever made.
Yeah, no doubt. It's funny, you look back on that and think, what was I thinking at the time? But being in Colorado, I mean, a lot of hockey going on. I mean, lots of winter sports. Well, I'm sure you're skiing and snowboarding and whatever else you get your hands on.
Oh, yeah. Being outdoors in any aspect in Colorado is just the way to be. But all my friends were playing hockey, and, I just grew up being around them, and not as many of them played baseball. So I think that was part of the reason I played hockey so bad.
The area in Colorado you're from, Arvada?
Arvada.
Yeah. And that's the same area Roy Halladay's from, right?
It is. Actually, if I would have gone to public school, I would have gone to his high school. So he was, as a pitcher, he was my favorite pitcher. I idolized him. He was the man. I just never got the chance to meet him, sadly.
Yeah, it is a sad story. But there's so many people, so many guys who look up to him, have a story about him, idolized him. And I mean, just a stud on the field. But I hear so many stories about how great of a guy that he was. And you being from that same area, I'm sure he's just an absolute legend in that area.
Absolutely. And, that work ethic he had, it's just been spread through everywhere. And everybody you talk to is just like, he was an absolute unit. He worked his tail off day in and day out. And he truly just was, he turned himself into how good of a player he was.
Coming out of high school, you go to Missouri State. And what was that recruiting process like for you?
Honestly, pretty easy. Being in Colorado, not many people come out to see people play just because in the spring, there's all the snow. And
Right?
why would you come to Colorado and miss a chance on a snowed out game when you can go to California or Texas or other
Sure.
places? So, Missouri State was actually the first college to call me. And I didn't talk to many, but when I narrowed it down, it was between Indiana and Missouri State. And one of the best decisions I've ever made because I have friends for life there. Incredible facilities. We were at the Cardinals AA Stadium. We had an awesome indoor, just great track record from the coaches, and I just had an amazing experience and ended up raising my value there and being able to follow my dreams.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think about guys who are from places where it's colder longer, the Northeast or Colorado or wherever it may be, where there's going to be snow on the ground in March, sometimes April. How challenging is that when you're in high school? And I'd imagine you're throwing lots of side sessions in gyms and
Oh
inside
yeah.
hallways or wherever you can get
Uh-huh.
inside.
Yes, 100%. I think I've thrown countless amount of bullpens inside. And most of the time in the off season, Colorado has that stigma of, oh, there's snow all the time, you can't get outside and do things. In the city, it's fairly nice, but there's some off seasons where I don't get cleats on until I get to spring training.
I bet. So in your off season, snowboard or snow skiing?
I mean, I grew up snowboarding, but due to baseball, I haven't been able to do it.
Yeah, kind of got to take it easy, don't you?
Yeah, sadly, but I was a little reckless. I was doing the terrain park and, going a little fast down that mountain. So I'm gonna let that wait until I'm done playing.
It'll be there when you're done.
Oh, I can't wait.
You don't have to rush it.
No, no, I'm gonna get my kids into it and we'll sneak away. Mom's not a fan of the cold, so looks like the kids and I are gonna have some getaways up to the mountains.
What are your favorite resorts to ski in Colorado?
So Breckenridge, I just love the city. And we actually
Hmm.
named my son Breck after
Oh,
Breckenridge.
nice.
And then um, Steamboat, Winter Park, Keystone, just the big touristy ones like Vail and Aspen, they're phenomenal. I just, super expensive,
Right.
packed with people. So I like finding the more small town
Yeah.
ones for me.
Yeah, those are good ones. And I think about your career, and you spent a lot of time pitching for the Rockies before you come to Atlanta. And so many times guys would talk about, man, it's so hard to pitch in Colorado, and it is. But that was nothing new for you. That's pretty much what you knew growing
Yeah,
up in that area.
it is. It is. And I think because I had to learn my breaking ball in a place where the ball doesn't break, I think it truly helped me because when I finally got to sea level and humidity, my breaking ball was really good.
Hmm.
So, being able to train there in the off season and get things dialed in and then be able to pitch there, I think that helped a lot. It was just I got hurt a little bit there with the long ball, so
Hmm.
glad to be here and have that humidity and this great ballpark and great team behind me.
When you went to pitch in Atlanta, not that you didn't know what it was like to pitch in other ballparks, obviously, but you're playing 81 games in Denver. You come to Atlanta, and all of a sudden, this is your home ballpark. Did that open things up a little bit more with your arsenal, or did you feel like you could trust things a little bit more, get away with more? How did that work out?
I definitely trusted things a little bit more. But when I got here, Alex did a great job. He gave me this PowerPoint presentation of like, this is why we traded for you. Analytically, this is what we think you should do. It also helps having two of the best catchers in the game right here,
Right.
where I trust every finger they put down. Then you also just got a winning team, a team that is so solid defensively that you just have the confidence to go out there to, throw your best stuff. And I'm a reliever, right? So I'm just throwing the kitchen sink at him
Right.
immediately. I don't have to establish the fastball for 3 innings. So there was a lot of confidence that they just instilled in me early because they were like, look, we think you have an amazing breaking ball. We love your heater too, but let's just stick with 1 and 2 and, let's go from there. And we're going to have everything at your disposal for you to have success. And that's what happened.
Tell me about the evolution of your breaking ball. When did you first start throwing it? Have you changed grips on it all that often through the years, and how did that develop?
Yeah, great question. So when I was in actually middle school, I had a Bible teacher, and he was a good player, baseball player who went to Liberty College, and he was a pitcher. I was talking to him one day, so I had a pitching lesson with him, and he just taught me this pitch, and it was more of a slider at the time, and I haven't changed the grip one time since I learned that pitch, however long ago that was. I'm getting kind of Yeah, when I got to, high school, it was my bread and butter then. I got to college. That was what got me to college and then got me to pro ball and ultimately got me here today.
So it's basically a slider grip, but it acts as a curveball,
Yes, I tell myself curveball because I want it to be more 12-6
right?
on a clock. But because of my arm angle, it's probably going to be like a 2-7, 2-8 on a clock. But for some reason, that pitch just clicked with me the second I learned it. So I've just stuck with that and had a ton of success.
It's so funny to me about the game how you might you might chat with a teammate at the big league level. He'll show you a grip on something. All of a sudden, it clicks, and then you have guys talking about like your grip. I've heard Bryce Elder tell the story about his grip on what was I think it was originally a cutter, became a big slider. Grips that you've known your entire life essentially
Yeah.
that have taken you out of the big leagues. And it's funny how you get just such a wide range of how pitchers learn pitches, learn grips, and how it turns into a weapon for them to get outs in the big leagues. That's fascinating.
It truly is. And I love talking to guys about how they throw this pitch, what their thought process is, the finger pressure, I don't know, seam shift, and whatever it may be, because all of us throw a little different in every way, and some of us are drastically different. But I got to play with people like you, Darvish, and when I see him literally learn a pitch in the bullpen that day and be like, you know what, I'm going to use this today. And then he's effective with it. I mean,
Wow.
it's just truly incredible that these guys are so good with their mechanics. They know themselves so well that they can just go out and that day pitch at the highest level with a new pitch they literally learned a couple minutes ago.
And that evolution, I'm sure, never stops. That knowledge never stops. I mean, you're
Uh,
constantly picking guys' brains and learning new things and
all the time.
kind of toying with it here and there, aren't you?
No doubt. And I think that's part of what makes guys really good too is, you know, hitters are evolving, pitchers are evolving. There's different things that you got to learn every day just to stay afloat in this game. And to play at the highest level, you got to make those adjustments. And that's why it's fun to be in the bullpen with a bunch of guys with different pitches, different stuff, different kind of mentalities because you can kind of, build yourself taking piece by piece from other people.
Yeah. What about this bullpen specifically is unique to you? Because I look around, there's so much talent in that bullpen, so much great talent that you guys have, and it's got to stand out to you as one of the better bullpens you've ever been a part of.
Absolutely. I mean, there's so many different looks you have. We got three elite lefties, potentially four or five lefties, which is unheard of for a
Hmm.
bullpen. We got some rocket fuel with, Joey Menez in the bullpen with a great fastball and a great off speed. And then I'm the curveball guy, high heater curveball. Mint has been an absolute workhorse for this organization the last couple of years. Matzik just I mean, he's kind of a playoff legend around here for
Yeah.
some of the things he did. Bummer's had a great career thus far, and last year I think they were talking about the stat about how many people that he had stranded of runners inherited. I mean, that's a tough job to do.
Yes.
And so then you add that with the anchor of Iggy at the back. I mean, that's pretty incredible
You
because
guys are
it's
pretty good.
oh man. I have confidence throwing anybody in any situation, right? Like it's almost like you have multiple closers, even though Iggy is one of the best at what he does. You just have so many bridges to get to him. You just got to choose which route you want to go with.
Right. And you mentioned the catchers earlier, and having Murph and Travie back there. That had to be maybe the easiest thing about your transition coming from the Rockies to the Braves, because that can be really challenging. I mean, you're coming to a new town, new team, new pitching coach, all that. It helps to have good catchers to continue to make that a seamless transition, doesn't it?
1,000%. And that was one of the reasons I wanted to come back, right? I mean, you have two of the best. You got just winners, guys who are unbelievable at receiving, calling a game, making adjustments on the fly. And that's something that truly is kind of understated in baseball. That pitcher catcher connection is just so important. And man, I mean, I had so much success with those guys that like I just didn't want to. I don't want to test the waters anywhere else when I know
Right.
I have such a good, chemistry with both these guys.
So it's going to be a fun year. There's no doubt about that. And we can talk about baseball all day long. But let me ask you a couple of questions about you outside of baseball. What are your favorite things to get into?
Well, first off, I'm a family man, so I love hanging with my family. Being with my kids, there's nothing better. And I'm super close to my parents and my in-laws. So we spend a lot of time with family, especially in the off season, and I love every bit of that. But if I get any sort of free time, I'm on the golf course or playing video games with my friends.
You know, you think about all the things that bring a team together because you got so many different personalities, different people, different backgrounds, and things like that. But nothing unites more than winning. And you guys have done a lot of that.
There's just a different feel with a winning atmosphere, right? I don't know if it's just like the silent confidence, just the way guys carry themselves. I can't put a finger on it. There's just a lot of things that, you know, make that a thing in a locker room. And when I got here, I felt it immediately. You just walk in, you just feel that presence of that quiet confidence from everybody, and everybody's always pulling for each other, which is awesome.
Yeah, it is. What do you think that this team can accomplish in 2024?
I think sky's the limit. You know, we have such a talented roster, top to bottom. I'm truly just excited because I feel like the second I got over here last year, there was an accolade, you know, accomplished every single game.
Right.
I just want us to be healthy because if we're healthy on this field, I feel like we can literally accomplish anything.
I think so too, and this team has proven that. And because still a great collection that's here this year was won a World Series 3 years ago and won 6 straight division titles. Let me ask you, because people have asked me this so many times throughout the off season, when you get to the postseason, I mean, it's a brand new season at that point, and you want to be healthy, you want to be hot on all that, and you guys got to experience that last year in the postseason. In the best way you can describe, what's the biggest difference when you get there compared to what you do for the other 6 months?
I mean, look, every pitch matters in the regular season. It truly does. But when you get to playoffs, every inch, every millimeter matters. I mean, whether a guy's running hard down the base path, whether you're missing a pitch on the outside corner, up or down or in or wherever it may be, everything is so magnified that you just have to be on top of your game every single day. But also, the atmosphere changes things, right? The adrenaline of a playoff game, just the intensity of it, you know, that raises everybody's level a little bit. And you know, I'm excited to get back there again this year and just truly let's go win this thing.
I like
That's
that.
that's how we all feel.
Yeah, when we do this interview next year, if that happens, it'll be a talking
How
about
about
what happened.
when that happens?
Yeah, when that happens, that'll be fun to do that.
I
That's
can't
for
wait.
sure.
I'll drive. I'll
Yes.
drive. We'll take either the truck or the Corvette next time, and we'll just be ripping around the neighborhood. How about that?
That sounds like a great plan.
Let's do it.
I think we've got 2024 kind of outlined for exactly how we want this thing to play out. Pierce, it's great to be with you, man. Glad that you're in Atlanta, and it's so much fun to watch you play. Thanks so much for taking the time to hang out with us today.
Thank you. This is an honor.
Absolutely. Pierce Johnson.